What's up, guys? I hope that you are having a glorious day. I got me and C Daddy.
Back at it.
That's your name from now on, man.
We'll take it.
I've decided you have no choice in this matter. You're C
Zero.
Daddy. And in case you're wondering who C Daddy is, it's Cody. He's been on more episodes than anyone else. He's my right-hand man when it comes to the podcast and just about anything else, actually. Either if it's camping or whatever it is, shooting the shit, talking about
shenanigans.
Shenanigans is usually you, for sure. But today we're going to talk about stress. And the reason we're going to talk about stress is because it's something that I'm definitely dealing with right now. I'm usually always stressed out, but right now I can feel my nervous system is shot. When I woke up this morning, I knew immediately. And when you wake up and you're like, oh, fuck, it's a good indication.
Especially when you get like a good amount of sleep, good quality sleep,
that's the
and
thing.
you're still like,
exactly.
Something's off.
And when I felt that this morning, I'm like, all right, well, this is something that we need to keep an eye on today. We need to control that, which is going to be today's discussion. Why not just talk about something that I'm dealing with at the moment, something that I have learned how to manage over the years since starting a business or even before the business, you know, managing a band, being on tour, booking shows, all of this stuff, relationships, being a single dad. I've had to learn how to manage stress in different ways throughout the years, as you have as well. I mean, you were a nurse for 6-7 years, right?
Yeah.
That's very stressful. I can imagine. Never been a nurse, but I can only picture certain scenarios where it's like, oh my God, this is overwhelming.
It absolutely is. And it definitely can be if you let it. It's just a different world, man. And stress is part of that game.
And now you're going into the entrepreneur field, which is stressful too. But here's the thing, like everyone deals with stress. Everyone's life is stressful in one way or another, and that's okay. You're going to be stressed out if you're moving forward. If you're trying to accomplish anything in life, it's going to come with some stress because it's out of your ordinary. It's out of your comfort zone. But to achieve anything worth a damn, you need to get out of your comfort zone. So stress is like a byproduct of this. That's just going to happen. But it's something that we can manage. And the more that we can manage it, the quicker we can accomplish what we're trying to achieve. And something that has really helped me lately is detaching from my thoughts. The reason that stress is amplified is because of what's going on inside of our brain. What are we thinking about? This is a tool. The mind is a tool. It is a problem-solving computer. When you tell the brain, I'm stressed out, we need to solve a problem, the brain starts coming up with a million different things of what we need to do to get this. It doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. It just means that it's trying to help. It's trying to get you out of this situation. You don't like being stressed out. So the brain's like, okay, what do we need to do to get you unstressed? You created this problem in all reality. Any problem that I deal with business is my responsibility because I took that challenge on. That's what all this is. It's a challenge. Any challenge is going to be stressful. Whether you're an athlete, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a parent, you decide to have a kid. It's stressful. Well, you need to take responsibility for that. You decide to open up a business. You decided to take that plunge and to open up a business. So any stress that comes along with that is something that you decided to do, and it is now your responsibility. If you're an athlete, you decided to play that sport. And at times it's going to be stressful, especially on game day. If you don't manage that stress, you're not going to win. And when I say win, I'm talking about winning life, because that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to squeeze as much life out of the time that we have here as possible. And the only way to do that is to manage stress. Like I said, for me, it's detaching from my thoughts. It took me years to learn how to do that. But if you know what needs to get done, you just need to fucking do it. You don't necessarily need to sit there and think, do I need to do this? Do I need to do this? Oh my God, I have so much shit that I need to get done today. What is that going to do for you? How is that going to help you? It's not. Thinking about all this shit that you need to get done throughout the day is just going to add more stress to the plate. Instead of just putting your fucking head down and putting in the work that you decided you need to get done. Okay, this is what I need to do today. One task at a time until it is all completed. You don't need to put it all together. It's just one thing at a time. Once again, that's the brain. That's the brain trying to It's the brain just being fucking chaotic like the brain is. The brain is a very chaotic thing if you don't control it.
I don't think it's trying to put you in an overwhelming situation.
Of course not. If anything loves you more, it's your own body.
It's just trying to, it's more or less trying to help, but we don't see it that way. You know, we try to take the entire plate in at once versus trying to, you know, go portion by portion.
That's a good analogy for it.
Because I mean, I struggle with that too, man. It's like, oh, I've got all this shit to get done. Well, that shit doesn't get done unless I put action to it.
And how do you put action to it?
You literally just fucking do it.
You get started.
Get it done. Yeah.
I like comparing this to a really hard hike. If you've ever been on a hard hike, like an absolute ass whooper, it gets to a certain point where you are just exhausted and your brain's like, oh, we can't continue going forward. We got it. We should turn back. The only thing that you can do is turn it off and just one foot in front of the other. You know where you're heading. You know how to get there. It's called walking. So you just continue to go in that direction until you reach the end. You don't need any thoughts to do that. And most of the stuff that we do on a day-to-day basis is shit that we do every single day. Why do you need to overthink that? You don't. You just need to start fucking working. Start getting the shit done. Start taking responsibility and control of your life. If you decide to do something that is big, you're doing it because you know that's going to improve your quality of life. This is something that you want. It's not like our ancestors where their stressful situations was because they're getting chased by a lion or fighting a fucking cave bear in Northern Europe or something like that. Like their survival depended on them being stressed out, which is why we still get stressed out till this day. But for people that live in the modern world, especially in America and these like first world countries, your stresses are self-induced. It's something that you decided that you wanted, and now you're taking steps in order to get it. Take responsibility for it. Realize that you put this stress on yourself and just embrace it. Cool. This is going to be stressful. We can get through it. We're going to get through it. But overanalyzing it is not going to do anything. You use your brain in the initial steps. That's a good way to put it. You use your brain in the initial steps to develop your plan of attack. Okay, this is what I need to do. Or at least this is the first step that I need to take. Then once you take that first step, okay, now what's next? Then you do that one. You don't need to come up with the whole damn thing at once. You just need to get started and start moving forward. One step at a time until you reach that final result. You don't need to overthink it. I know I keep saying that word, overthinking, but that's exactly what it is.
That's what we do.
The brain is chaotic. But like you said, it doesn't mean to be. It's just how we are programmed. It's a problem. It's a supercomputer. And it's there to help you get through life. That is why we were given brains, is to help us get through life. It is an amazing tool. The main word there is tool. It is a tool that you need to learn how to manage. If you have a chainsaw, are you going to use the damn chainsaw all the time? Every waking second of the day, are you going to use this chainsaw?
I hope not. That sounds exhausting.
The only tool that we use all of the time is our brain. And it's not needed. You don't need it all of the time. You can pick and choose when to use it and when not to. That takes developing a habit and learning how to manage it, but it is possible. What helped me with it was meditation. The more I meditate, the more I can manage my brain. That's all meditation is. It's detaching yourself from your thoughts and having awareness of it. You are aware of your thoughts. You're not identifying with them anymore. I think most people, including myself in the past, when we have a thought, we go, oh, this is true. I've also been in a lot of shitty relationships where at that moment, my brain was telling me, this is the one. This is all you need right here. And it was not what I needed. The brain does not know everything. You know, like the brain knows as much experience that you have, as much information that you have put into it up to this point, and the life experiences that you've obtained. That's all your brain has to work with. That's why continuing education is so important. That's why reading, exploring new places, all these different things are to help your brain perform better, to guide you through life. That way you have this tool that is always growing, and that's more resources that you have available that's going to get you to where you want to be. And the more that you can strengthen it, just like a muscle, you strengthen your brain through experiences in education, the easier things are going to get for you. but it's also the more things that are going to stress you out because you realize, oh, I could do this. I could start a business. Okay, cool. Let's start a business. Get ready. Get ready, motherfucker.
There's a quote from Seneca that says we suffer more in our imagination than we do our own reality.
That is one of the best quotes of all time.
It is. It's very short, simple, but the meaning it carries is very heavy.
Say it again so people really let it sink in.
We suffer more in our imagination than we do our actual reality.
I hope like people are actually understanding what that means.
It has a very deep meaning to it, and it's because of what we mentioned. We are chronic overthinkers.
Why do we do that though? It's because we're still attached. We are attached to the mind, and we let it dictate our entire life.
We kind of look at it as it is a part of you, but it is not.
It's not you.
You. In its entirety.
I look at this in three different things as far as the human body is concerned. As far as me as a person, there's three different parts of me. There's the body, this meat suit that I was given.
Skeleton frame, like it is what it is.
It is what it is, right? It was to help me get through life. My brain, it's not the same as my body. The brain is separate. The brain is a tool to help me get through life. And then there's me. There's me at the deepest level, consciousness. It's me being aware of my body and my mind and utilizing those two tools to help me have the best life possible, to help me experience life to its fullest. When you can look at it from that perspective, things start to click. But it takes detaching yourself from it all. And that's a very weird thing for people to do. It's almost an identity crisis. What do you mean? I'm not my thoughts? No, you're not your thoughts.
All. No.
That's a byproduct of what you've read, your experiences, programming through the media, government, your parents, every single person that you've ever came in contact with your life had left some imprint, on your brain to make you have these thoughts. Those thoughts are not you. They are programs. Your brain is a computer, and that is a program that is running. And you can pick and choose which programs are good for you and which ones are bad. It goes back to every single thing in life. If it does not serve you, then learn how to either get rid of it or to manage it.
One of the big things that I had to learn is, it helped me tremendously, and it's understanding what long-term stress does to your body. And it completely wears you down. When you're stressed out continuously over time, your cortisol spiking, you're holding water, you feel like absolute shit. Once you understand that, you do your best to prevent it straight out the gate.
Yeah.
And that was a big thing for me too. So understanding that, this decision you're making, this, habit you're forming, this hobby you're interested in, understanding that that's going to come with stress initially before you even start that process. You already know what you're getting yourself into.
It's taking responsibility for it.
It is. And it's, learning how to control that straight from the gate leads to better progress through whatever you're putting it towards.
It's going to help you avoid burnout.
Yeah.
If you burn out because of stress, that's why we burn out, is because we've put too much stress on our mind and body. Nothing's getting done. You're operating at like 5% compared to 100. Whenever you learn to manage stress, you're operating 80, 90, 100% all of the time. And then there's different things for that. Meditation, ice baths. There's certain supplements that you can take, natural herbs that were put on this planet to help us with this kind of stuff. Ashwagandha, rhodiola, L-theanine, velvet bean, just to name a few, which are all things that we have inside Focus. And that's why Focus was created, is because me and Jacob were taking all of this shit every single day because we're entrepreneurs. We live stressful lives. We have a lot of demands. And we're like, what if we just make a product that is going to have all of this shit in it, but it's also going to have a little bit of caffeine to make sure that we're alert. And we're going to have different herbs in there as well that's going to help with concentration. That way we can just stay focused on what matters most while also reducing stress and putting us in more of a bliss type mood. That's why focus was created. And all the ingredients in that are to serve that purpose, to reduce stress and to allow you to get more things done and to allow you to operate at 100%. Now, you don't have to take focus. I'm not saying that's what you need to do. I'm just saying if you're looking for something that has all of these beneficial things in it, focus is the easiest route. And you're going to save money compared to buying 7 different products off Amazon or some shit. Plus, you have to worry about quality and purity and stuff like that. But either way, there are so many different tools available. Taking walks in nature, that is the number one stress reduction tool that I use. When I'm feeling overwhelmed, I go on a walk. I clear my head. When we're looking off in far distances and our eyes are darting all over the place, it has a therapeutic effect on our brain. Think about it. Nature gave us this form of therapy, and all it takes is walking and looking around. Most people don't do that anymore. We have a phone in front of our face that's a foot away from our eyes, and our attention is just there. I would love to know how many people actually look at the sky throughout the day. When's the last time that you just stopped and looked up at the moon at night, at the stars, the sun rising?
With purpose and intention. Not mindlessly looking at the
right, just kind of look up and glance and then continue on with your distractions.
Looking with intention.
When's the last time that you were not distracted and you just actually observed your surroundings as far as you could see? Most people don't anymore.
Oh, damn. I would say most people don't have the option to look that far unless they go somewhere else.
That too, especially if you live in a big city or something. But here's the thing, everyone can just look up.
Yeah.
You can look up. At any point, you can see where the sun is. Even if it's super cloudy, you can kind of get a glimpse of that bitch. That beautiful, beautiful, beautiful son of a bitch that we call the sun. But it's just being aware. And that's what all of this boils down to. It means being aware of yourself, your mood, your thoughts, your surroundings, who you're hanging out with, what challenges you're taking on. And also be real with yourself. Is this what you want? Is this worth the stress?
That's how I look at it too. Almost like a return of investment kind of thing.
It is. That's exactly what it is. Anytime that I'm starting to get stressed, I go back to what do I want? Is this worth it? Absolutely. And I will do whatever the fuck it takes to achieve it.
And if your goals are rooted correctly for you and you have them in alignment with that, that'll carry you pretty far.
Well, you have to have awareness of your morals and values. What do you stand for? What do you want? Not what your parents wanted for you, not what society tells you that you need. What do you want at the course, at the deepest level of your being? What is going to make you happy? Because that's what I want people to. Yeah, we're talking about stress and we're saying how stress is almost inevitable and all these different things. But at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you're happy. And if you're working towards something that you really want, a big goal that's going to improve your quality of life, that's going to make you a better person, then you get fulfillment from that. You get happiness from that because you know that you are improving. There's no better feeling in this world than improving, to becoming the best version of yourself. And when you take steps towards that every single day, no matter the stress, you will never reach any higher state of fulfillment. And then once you finally get to the end of it, man, when you do conquer that goal, oh my God, it is euphoric. Like that is what makes it's addicting to me. And that's why I put up with the stress that I do, because I've experienced that so many times in my life where I accomplish a big goal and I'm like, holy shit, all of it was worth it. Every single bit of stress, all of this depression that comes sometimes from it, all of it was worth it because I achieved this. Now what do I want? I don't stop because I know there's going to be more stress. I'm now more resilient because of it too. Let's talk about that. Whenever you learn how to manage stress and you don't avoid it, that's the issue. We avoid stress. There's bad stress and there's healthy stress. Stress is a natural part of life. There's no way around it. If we weren't supposed to have stress, we'd be living in a fucking utopia where we don't have to eat. In all reality, eating is stressful. Obtaining food is supposed to be stressful. We're not supposed to just be able to go to the store and do it. I'm glad that we can. It's very convenient.
That's great.
I'm all about it. I love being able to just go to the store and just being able to get wherever the fuck I want, regardless if it's in season or not. But we're the only species that can experience that. If we were not supposed to be stressed out, the world would not be how it is. So trying to avoid it is just unrealistic. You're going to be stressed.
About something.
Something.
It comes down to it, is it worth it?
But the more stress that you handle, you handle it. You handle it like the fucking badass that you are, because you can handle anything. You grow a tolerance to it. What used to set me off 4 years ago, I don't give a shit about anymore. It doesn't bother me at all. Something that would give me an anxiety attack 3 or 4 years ago, especially when I started Norse and the gym, like right around the same time, give a shit. If that happened today,
whatever.
I would just handle it as quickly as possible and keep moving forward. The stress that I deal with now is shit that I couldn't even comprehend 4 years ago.
So it's almost like a conditioning.
You're absolutely conditioning yourself.
You're conditioning yourself to that stress.
You condition yourself to stress. And the more that you take on, the better it gets. The easier life gets. Unless you plan on pushing that needle a little bit more. That's a decision that you can make as well. Some people don't want that. Some people just want to live in the most stress-free environment possible and as basic as possible. And that's completely fine. That's up to you. If that is what makes you happy, that's okay. But if you're listening to this podcast, that's not you. That is not you. You want more for yourself. And if you want more for yourself, you're going to have to learn how to deal with this shit. And you can. But it's developing practices every single day that's going to help you with it. Meditation, ice baths, reading, going to walks in nature, hanging out with people that you love.
Hiking, breath work,
Breath work, another great one.
Just even getting in the gym and pushing through a high rep workout,
That's why I started working out. Yeah. One was for depression. And two was to help manage stress. Whenever I started first experimenting with exercise, I was actually like in middle school. I would just run. I didn't have any weight equipment available. I would just run. And the reason I ran is because it made me feel better. Now, the longer that you lift weights, it doesn't necessarily have that same effect anymore, which is why you need to be practicing other things like yoga and all the other things that we just mentioned.
There's that. And there's a point I went through this because when I started lifting, it was, stress management, depression management, as an escape. And that's okay. But when you put all your eggs in that one basket, I work out to manage my stress, and that's all I do to manage it. If you hit a point where you can't work out, you get injured, you run yourself in the dirt to where you cannot physically achieve that stress relief from your workout, it can put you in a worse situation than you were in to begin with.
Well, how many elite athletes do we know that are complete wrecks if they do hurt themselves and they're not able to get into the gym?
It's because there's usually no other outlet with that.
You need to have as many tools available to use to help you manage this type of stuff. And you can experiment, find what works best for you. What is awesome for me may not be awesome for other people. I know a lot of people just don't like meditation. That's completely fine. If that's not your thing, it's not your thing. But to me, it has been the most beneficial. And that's something I will always have.
Absolutely. And, I think it comes down to having that versatility and variety of tools at your disposal and you being, productive with those tools to manage it. Because if you say you're not feeling one thing that day, okay, that's cool. Maybe try another little thing you do to manage it. Maybe you're not feeling like going to the gym. Maybe it's a rest day, breathwork yoga. See what happens.
You could do it anywhere.
Yeah. See, I mean, you could, and it doesn't take long at all. It doesn't take near as long as a workout, really. Not breath work.
You could have your leg broken and you can still breathe.
Yeah.
We're always breathing. You can always return to your breath. And that's something too. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you just can't take it anymore, you feel like you're losing your shit. I've been there before. Return to your breath. It's always there.
But when I started digging into breath work, I kind of at first thought it was corny. I think everyone does. They're like, oh, well, I'm just breathing. But when you really dive into routines with breath work, the clarity that you get after the fact is pretty fucking incredible.
You know why that is? Because it turns off the brain. You have to let your brain rest. It is a tool, guys. You cannot use it all of the time. You don't use anything else 24/7 a day. Why the hell would you use your brain? Turn it off. Let the son of a bitch rest.
That stimulation, the constant stimulation we get from just
everything,
our overall environment. Yeah, like our modern environment, the stimulation is consistent.
We're not programmed for it.
No, and it wasn't always like that. But when you're subconsciously getting just hammered with stimulus continuously, you have to find a way to break that.
We're constantly getting hammered from it.
That's all it is.
We're also getting depleted of dopamine. Dopamine is there to help you deal with stress. But most people are just completely depleted of dopamine because they spend all their time on social media and eating shit foods and never getting out of their comfort zone. Dopamine works as like a pain dopamine balance. I don't think a lot of people realize that, but the best way to put it is there's like a teeter-totter, right? It's shit that we used to play with when we were 5 years old. One side is dopamine. The other side is pain. We feel our best when it's in balance. And our body and our mind naturally wants to balance those two out. So whenever dopamine starts to go a little bit down, our pain goes up. Whenever you experience pain or discomfort, dopamine rises up. It goes like this, but most people don't experience any discomfort and they're just constantly looking for more dopamine release. And you only have so much dopamine production available to you, depending on who you are. It varies based off every single person on this planet, but you only have so much dopamine available. And your pain threshold is also there as well. Like you can only experience so much pain. But you can do little things like taking an ice bath or a cold shower in the morning to reset that level there, that teeter-totter. Now dopamine and pain are at the same and you feel good. You don't feel like you need anything more. You don't need all this other shit to make you happy. You're just happy. And the reason that people deal with depression, one of the reasons, there's a lot, even all the way down to genetics where it's very hard to control. I get that. But one of the reasons that we are depressed is because we feel like we never have enough. You have everything that you need. And it's easy to fall into that trap in the world that we live in now because we constantly see what other people are doing and what other people have, and we think that we need more. You have life. That's all that matters. You were given an opportunity at life, and there's not a single other thing that matters except for that. You need food. You need shelter. Do you have that? Awesome. You don't need anything else to be happy. And it's understanding that and it's being grateful for that you were given an opportunity to experience life. Everything after that is just icing on the cake.
That comes from a place of understanding how fragile it is and how, the minuscule probability that we even exist right now. Once you understand that,
it's a weird concept.
It is. It's very weird to understand, but once you understand that, that's where a lot of that comes from.
Speaking of fragile, people don't understand what they're capable of enduring. We have no idea, including me and you. We have never experienced anything close to like our threshold. Every person on this planet has so much possibility when it comes to how much stress they can actually handle and what they can put their body through. We've never experienced that. The human body is not fragile. Your mind is not fragile. You almost choose to allow it to be that way by not using it, by not getting into the gym and exercising. When you don't do that, when you don't engage in physical activity, you have this amazing machine that is now going to shit, is the best way that I can put it. When you're not feeding the mind with information and experiences, you have this supercomputer that you're not taking care of and it's going to shit. How do we fix that? By doing what the fuck we need to do to keep up with it. Do you put new tires on your car? You put gas in your car? You put premium gas in your car? Or do you put like water in there? But what happens when you put water in a car?
It doesn't work very well.
Runs like shit. What happens when you don't have good tires in your car? You're fucked. You're not going anywhere. The same idea applies to the body and mind. Make sure that you're taking care of it because it's not fragile. It's the complete opposite of fragile. You make it fragile by not taking care of it, by not doing what needs to get done. And it's just like when it comes to stress, you can take on so much stress, not saying that you need to, but you're going to. Like, you're going to experience some type of stress.
Yeah, it's inevitable. You're not running away from that.
And
At
also
some point, you're going to be stressed out about something.
Yeah, and that's okay. It's good.
It's normal.
It's normal. It's unrealistic to think that you're never going to be stressed.
If you're not stressed about, something slight at least,
then you're not moving forward with anything.
Something's kind of wrong.
Life would be very boring. Think about it. Like if you had no stress, it means that you're just coasting.
Yeah, you're kind of on autopilot, just floating throughout the day.
And why would you want to live life like that?
People do, man.
It's a weird concept to me. And I don't want to bash it. If that's what other people want to do, that's up to you. I don't really give a shit.
Yeah.
But for most people, I think what frustrates me, man, is that I look at people and I see so much potential. And when I don't see even a stranger pushing themselves more, it makes me sad. I get depressed when I don't see people really just trying to level up, because I see them and I was like, I see more potential in you and I don't even know you.
Than you see in yourself.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
It's a very depressing thing, which that's why I do this podcast. Like, I've always been like that, man. I do it with myself, but I probably do it with more people. I probably do it with people more than I do myself.
As much as we bash, kind of modern society, I am thankful for this and the internet.
Of course.
I mean, fuck, even I'd say 15, 20 years ago, the outreach was minimal still compared to what it is today.
I think it was supposed to happen. I'm very glad that it happened. I think it's helping us evolve.
Well, it's helping us connect with people on the other side of the planet instantly.
It's amazing. People that you would have never heard of before. People that could serve value to you. It's just a matter of how you use it. How are you going to use your body? How are you going to use the internet? How are you going to use your mind? How are you going to use the people that you love?
How are you going to use this opportunity?
How are you going to use this opportunity that you were given? It's an amazing opportunity. No one will ever have the same experiences as you. So take advantage of that. Live life to its fullest and understand that you're going to be stressed out at times. But also take a step back and be like, is this really that big of a fucking deal? The stress that I deal with, I brought upon myself at the end of the day. And if it doesn't work out, well, damn. It's just a game.
That's all it is.
That's all. All of this is just a game. The modern world is just a giant game. And you can choose if you're going to lose or if you're going to win. And if you decide that you want to play this game and that you want to win, then you need to learn how to play it correctly. And the first step is learning how to manage your stress. So let's recap real quick, if we can. We kind of been all over the place, but I think there's a lot of valuable information in there. I just want to kind of give people the overall. All right, so learning how to manage stress. You're going to be stressed out. It's going to happen, but we can manage that.
Understand that from the get-go.
Yeah, understand that. Embrace it.
Go ahead and get that in your head.
Yeah,
like, this is going to happen. There's no running from it. Stress is inevitable. So there's step one.
Yep. Now, what are some tools? There's natural herbs out there. Ashwagandha, rhodiola, L-theanine, velvet bean, and so many more that can help you with it. I wouldn't necessarily, you don't need that though. You don't need that. You need to detach from your thoughts. You need to learn how to turn your brain off. Stop trying to run this thing all the damn time. Let it rest. That way it can perform better.
And be more productive.
And be more productive and get more shit done and reach this goal quicker. That way you can take on another one. Meditation, walks in nature, walks down the damn road. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be in nature. Ice baths to help with that dopamine production, to balance everything back out, pain and dopamine. Doing things that are out of your comfort zone, because it's going to help balance out dopamine and pain once again. It's going to make you feel better.
What else? Sauna, hike, workout, write, whatever you find enjoyment in, really.
And just make sure that you're doing it every day.
Make sure you're doing it, yeah.
It's having these practices part of your daily routine. Most of the things that we listed are things I do every single day. And the reason that I have to do them every day is to help manage stress. That way I can continue pushing forward.
Well, you understand the benefits of it too. You know that doing these things every day are going to keep that level down and not let it get out of hand where you're kind of playing catch up with it.
Exactly.
I think that's a good way to put it too.